A lot of people know this nice Avengers movie with the cool graphics and all this stuff. But when I was a young boy, I was introduced to a show that my father really enjoyed. It was the 1980s version of The Hulk. It was a wonderful show of a scientist on accident was exposed. Well, he was tinkering with things that he shouldn't, experimenting like scientists do, and he was exposed to gamma radiation. And when he was exposed to this gamma radiation, something happened in his life. He got essentially a monster. He got a problem. He got a thing that he was starting to run away from. And in this show, you start to see a man, a scientist, go from city to city, town to town, drifting, running from this so-called Hulk. Running from this thing that he's like, that's not me, get that away from me. He tried to do good in every single city, but somehow, when he said the words, don't make me angry, you won't like me when I'm angry, the other person comes out. And I like to say that we can kind of relate to that. Because we were exposed to our own gamma radiation, ladies and gentlemen. We tinkered with something that we shouldn't, and we received sin into this world. And we all have, in our past, in some moments, sometimes every day, experienced what it's like living in sin. And some of us have a past. Some of us have a thing that we're running from. Some of us have things that we might consider our Hulk. So we separate the two. Publicly, I'm Bruce Banner. Publicly, I'm Mike Ayala, preacher of the word, connecting to young people in our church. But privately, I might have a Hulk. I ask you this morning, do you have a Hulk? Do you have a thing that you're running from? Do you have something that publicly you want to be one way, but privately you're dealing with a real struggle? And you start thinking to yourself, that's not me. That's the Hulk. That's not me. That's the other me that's involved with sin. No, this me is the real me. That's not me. And we begin to think that we're like Bruce Banner and that we're two different things. But Bruce Banner had to come to realize that really he was running away from himself. He was running away from the deeper parts of him that he was not willing to address. Sometimes I believe we do the same. Peter was like this. Peter publicly, he was a natural-born leader. The unspoken rule, that he was the leader. No one really claimed it in the mouth, but you could see by the actions and how he conducted and how he was living. He was a leader, a natural-born leader. He was bold and impulsive. And there's a couple characteristics about him. But privately, he might have been another way. And privately, you come to find out, he was maybe unstable, insecure. And in the moment where it counted most, we've come to find out that he was unreliable. Peter was a man that was called by God, that was called by Christ physically in the flesh. And there was a point in time when he met Jesus that he got his name. At one point, growing up, his name was Simon. Simon was a fisherman. Probably had a sailor's mouth. Probably had things about him that weren't Christ-like or Christian, or how we like to think that maybe someone should be acting, especially in the church. But Peter, or Simon, gets the name Peter when he meets Jesus. And sometimes I think God gives us a purpose, but we end up running before we address who we are. Simon just got given the greatest opportunity of his life. He met Christ and got to be a follower of him. and he's running left. He's going 180 miles an hour in the direction of that. His ministry with Jesus for even 3 years. But when you're running 180 miles and you don't stop to address some of the things from the past, it starts to come back in your future. It starts to come back in your present. It starts to come out. Because when we say, oh, well, this is who I am when I'm with God, but when I'm not with God, I still have those struggles. But I'm over here with Jesus. I'm over here with Him. I'm doing what I need to do. But we leave that person at home. Many of us have the calling of Peter, but secretly we still have things that keep us like Simon. What are those things? What are those things that are keeping us?